Hi friends, I'm Bex, and today we're gonna talk about autism again because apparently that's something people want to hear about. I That video has almost 300 views while my rest have like a dozen, so here we are. I posted on Twitter and asked people what they'd like to hear about, and out of the options I gave, special interests came out on top, so that's what I'm going to be talking about today. To start off, what is a special interest? Well, there are a few different terms for it. Not all autistics like the term special interest because it sounds a little bit cutesy or kiddie. I don't mind it. I happily use special interest or SPIN, which is fun. You could also say heightened interest, hyperfixation, even obsession, but that one has a bit of a negative connotation, so I don't tend to use that one myself. Also, sorry, I gotta check my notes on something. Sorry about that. So a special interest is focused, sometimes narrow interest in something, to put it simply. Now, about 75% to 90% of autistics have them, apparently. I don't know that I personally have like special interest. The main thing that differentiates an autistic interest, special interest from regular interest is the intensity of the interest. Some people, assume that the interest itself has to be really quirky, and sometimes it is. You might be super into vacuum cleaners, but it could be anything: animals, history, anything, really. I really wanted to think of some examples for me for this video, but I honestly don't know. Was that a good bit? I'm not sure. Anyway, moving on. For this video, I'm going to talk a little bit more about special interests in relation to myself. Obviously, the special interest that I was sort of joking about here is my interest in Wonder Woman. It is probably the interest that most people I know associate me with. This is not an interest that I had from childhood or that I've had for an exceptionally long period of time, relatively speaking. I first kind of became introduced to Wonder Woman when I was just looking for a costume. I had other kind of geeky interests, I guess, and wanted to get into conventions and dressing up for Halloween again. But a lot of the characters I was really into had more intricate costumes. I don't sew, I'm not crafty, so I thought, oh, well, who could I dress up as that is relatively simple and I wouldn't have to wear a wig for? And Wonder Woman was my first thought. I wanted to know about the history of Wonder Woman, the creator of Wonder Woman, the different storylines, read the comics, watch the movies, all of that became very quickly part of my life. And because people quickly picked up on this being an interest of mine, they sort of fed into it by showing me things, giving me gifts related to Wonder Woman, all of that stuff. Wonder Woman isn't my only special interest. As a kid, I had some that, of course, passed, and have some that have remained more steady throughout my life, or have sort of ebbed and flowed and resurfaced. One of those being horses. Very stereotypical, horse girl. Interestingly, especially when I was younger, the special interest would bleed into other things. So being into horses, for example, then fueled my interest in My Little Pony and things like that. There's also that book series that will not name, which definitely was a special interest of mine from preteens through to my late teenage years, early adulthood. And before that, though, I had a really intense interest in witches and witchcraft. And that definitely influenced me being interested in this book series in the first place. Studies show that most autistics find special interests enriching to their lives rather than detrimental. And for me, of course, for a long time I didn't recognize special interests as such. But for me, I would agree. They're mostly enriching. It has brought up a couple of weird social interactions, I guess. I was in my undergrad studying journalism. There's a radio room, and there are computers in the radio room because you have to edit your audio. We weren't really assigned computers, I don't think, but I remember we each had one that we preferred or tended to use. So I decided to change the desktop background to Wonder Woman. And another person in my class was weirdly bothered by this, sort of turned to me and said, "Why are you obsessed with her?" And I was sort of taken aback because I never really thought that people thought that of me, that I was obsessed. I just thought that, oh yeah, this is something that I like, and most people know that. Up to that point, I hadn't seen it as a bad thing. These days, I am not bothered by stuff like that. I like what I like. When I care about something, I care a lot. And I think that in a lot of ways, that's a gift, and it's not something to be ashamed of. And it's not something anybody, especially any autistic person, should be ashamed of. I had one experience that kind of helped me stop being apologetic about these things, especially Wonder Woman, because I'm trying not to give too much detail here because this was like a closed space, but basically I attended kind of a group, like a support, a kind of a one-off support group, after it took place after the trial of a high-profile Canadian sexual assault case, and there was sort of this safe space in town that some organizers put together, where people could sort of like debrief and discuss their feelings about it freely. And I went alone and was really nervous to go alone, so I wore my Wonder Woman shirt, not this one, it's an old one that I had for a long time. I don't have anymore, but I wore my Wonder Woman shirt, and I said a couple of things at this event, and a few people came up to me after to tell me how happy seeing my shirt made them, and that brought me a lot of joy to know that one of the things that I draw strength from was helpful to other people. I have actually read a lot of autistic people saying that, especially like prior to diagnosis or leading up to a diagnosis, autism itself becomes a special interest. And that's definitely true for myself. It was true a few months ago, and I think it's even truer now. In terms of my special interest now, obviously there's Wonder Woman, autism, Star Wars is a big one, and I'm still big into horses over here. Star Wars is a funny one because it was one that had kind of faded into more of like, I guess, a little bit more of a casual interest and normal interest. And during the pandemic, it resurfaced, I think, partially as a comfort thing. And now people associate me with Star Wars too, which is kind of awesome, actually. I don't really see many downsides to it, just because, first of all, it makes me a really easy person to shop for. Like, if you don't know what to get me for a gift, get me something Wonder Woman related or Star Wars related or horse related, and I will probably be pleased with that. Also makeup. That's another thing that I think I would categorize as a special interest. An expensive special interest. So maybe that might be the most problematic one. But still, I would agree with the general sentiment that it's an enriching thing. It's a positive thing in my life, and I think it goes for a lot of people. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you'd like to learn more about special interests, I'm going to include some links to sources and further reading in the description of this video. I've also included a link to the Autistic People of Color Fund if you're looking for a way to support autistic folks. That is just one of the many ways to do it. But I came across the website recently and I think it's a great cause, so check it out, whether you can donate or not. I totally encourage you to check out the site and see what they're all about. That being said, if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one, or if you'd like to see videos of me playing Star Wars Fallen Order, that is on the channel too. It doesn't get as many views, but it's there, like, if you want to watch it. Okay, bye.